It's time for Wolverine football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Wolverine football is also brought to you by the Triangle Bar and Grill, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, the law offices of Owen Seaman, Bush Brothers Car Care, the Barber's Inn in Swissvale, LG3 Entertainment, Web Landings, A-Boss Opticians, Matthews Auto Service, and DeZubin Dental Associates. Now it's time for the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show.
A pleasant good evening and welcome to the Wolverine of the Turtle Creek, home of your Woodland Hills Wolverines. And tonight it's home to a WPIAL 5A Allegheny 8 conference matchup between the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the Chartiers Valley Colts. Woodland Hills 3-6 on the season, 2-4 within Allegheny 8 play. Meanwhile, Chartiers Valley is 3-6 on the season. They're 0-6 though within conference play. Woodland Hills comes off of a 20-10 road win at Moon a week ago. Meanwhile, Chartiers Valley battled Upper St. Clair a week ago, but ended up losing on the road 38-31. The last time these two teams met was back on September 22nd, 2017, and it was a 31-0 win for the Wolverines on the road. We are going to step away for a 2-minute timeout, and when we return, Eric Shuley will join us and give us his pregame analysis as the pregame show rolls on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com. The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 3/4 of a century. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now. Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, with locations in East Pittsburgh and Turtle Creek, is a member of the Hall of Excellence of the National Funeral Directors Association. This reflects the same pursuit of excellence by our Woodland Hills football team, cheerleaders, marching band, students, staff, and faculty. For over 110 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home has been honored to serve local families and to be a proud partner of the Woodland Hills communities.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Pre-game coverage continues here on the Woodland Hills Football Network as Woodland Hills takes on the Chartiers Valley Colts in a big game. Eric Shuley for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. If they win this one, they're headed to the WPIAL playoffs every season since 1995.
Absolutely. All they got to do is win tonight. They don't have to worry about anything else. They take care of their business. They will be into the playoffs. Certainly will face a tough matchup in the first game, but if they're able to win, they will be in.
We're going to take another break here in the pregame show, and when we return, we'll get you set for a kickoff. It's the Wolverines and the Chartiers Valley Colts on the Woodland Hills Football Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Woodland Hills football is brought to you in part by the law offices of Owen Seaman. Owen is a Woodland Hills alumnus who studied law at Duquesne University and has been practicing law in the Pittsburgh area for over 15 years. Attorney Owen Seaman's experience encompasses virtually every facet of criminal defense. If you find yourself in need of criminal defense representation, call Owen at 412-721-0412 or visit owenthelawyer.com. There are a few things that guys like more than a great haircut at a real barbershop. And at the Barber's Inn on Washington Avenue in Swissvale, you'll find both. Plus, you can relax in style on supple leather sofas while watching their big screen HD TV. You can even shoot some pool while you wait. But most importantly, you'll walk out the door with a haircut or shave that you're sure to love. Walk-ins are always welcome at the Barber's Inn. For more information, call 412-271-7434. And remember, real men come to the Barber's Inn.
LG3 Entertainment is a first-class disc jockey and karaoke entertainment company that serves the Pittsburgh and surrounding areas. They offer a wide range of music entertainment for weddings, anniversaries, school dances, corporate events, and more. They also offer beautiful chair cover linen rentals to give your event the elegance it deserves. They offer many more services, so go to their website today and see why so many choose LG3 Entertainment for the best in family fun entertainment. Whether you need a new website or want to improve your existing site, Web Landings can serve your needs. Web Landings provides professional, easy-to-maintain websites for businesses, organizations, and individuals. Discover more at weblandings.com and find out how editing your site can be as easy as using a word processor. Plus, we offer 1 year of free hosting for any website developed. Visit weblandings.com today.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
We welcome you back to the Wolverine as Woodland Hills takes on Chartiers Valley, a couple of 3 and 6 teams, but Woodland Hills is 2 and 4 within Allegheny 8 play. And Eric, as we talked about a moment ago, Woodland Hills gets the win. They head to the WPIAL playoffs, where they've been every season since the 1995 year, one of only 2 years in program history where Woodland Hills didn't qualify for the playoffs. But Woodland Hills has a tough test. And Chartiers Valley seems to be a lot better than their 0-6 conference record, especially the way they played against Upper St. Clair a week ago.
Yeah, they've had some tough conference games so far this year. They played Baldwin really tough, 21-14 loss there. They're a team that likes to run the ball more, certainly, with running back Connor Barrett and even the quarterback Griffin Beatty getting involved running the ball. So we'll see some passing, though. He's about 550 yards on the year for him passing. So not too much, but they'll certainly lean on the run, I would expect.
Well, it's going to be a tough game for Woodland Hills, and they're a little bit short-staffed. We've seen Woodland Hills shift in and out different players all season long, and the same story stands tonight from what we understand, a pretty shallow bench for the Wolverines.
Yeah, the offensive line certainly is going to have to play tough, and hopefully the playoffs will be motivation enough.
Going to send it down to the field as we are set for a kickoff here in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania, and we are underway in Turtle Creek, PA. This ball bounces to the 25-yard line, where it'll be returned by a Wolverine. It looks like Christopher Jones on the return. He's got some room in front of him across the 50, inside of the 40, inside of the 30, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, into the end zone for a Woodland Hills touchdown. Christopher Jones with an opening kickoff return for a TD.
Just a great start for the Wolverines. Chris Jones, one of the up men. Sometimes he plays fullback. Most of the time he's on the defensive line at defensive end. So when you have a guy like that who can take the ball to the house on a kickoff return, that's a good sign.
So that'll bring Chucky Hanchett out onto the field. A couple of seniors going to get the scoring started for Woody High as Christopher Jones, the senior fullback and linebacker, returns the opening kick for 75 yards for a TD. And now we'll see the senior kicker, Charlie Hanchett, attempt the point after touchdown. The holder, Jaden Lucas. The long snapper, Michael Roman. Low snap. Lucas gets it down, and Chucky Hanchett splits the uprights, and we have played just 16 seconds of football, and Woodland Hills leads Chartiers Valley 7-0. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
75-yard kick return for a touchdown to open the football game for Christopher Jones and Woodland Hills on top of the Chartiers Valley Colts, 7-0. Adam Gusky, Eric Shuley on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network, and the Wolverines certainly get things started in style. Kickoff by Hanchett as we're back to live action. Carries down to around the 10-yard line where Chartiers Valley will be on the return. It's Andre Thomas on the return for the Colts, and he is battled to the floor at around the 27-yard line, and a late hit near the end of the play by a Wolverine is probably going to cost the home team 15 yards.
You got a great start there with that kickoff return, and not a good way to follow that up on that.
Personal foul, face mask on the kicking team, 15 yards from the end of the run. First time.
Steve Dobus, our referee, giving us the information that was a face mask against Woodland Hills. 15-yard penalty regardless. We thought it was a late hit, but it's kind of inconsequential at this point what the specifics were. It's just a 15-yard penalty, and that'll set Chartiers Valley up with decent field position at their own 42.
Now, I initially thought it was a late hit, as you did, Adam.
Power pistol for the Chartiers Valley Colts, and the big back takes the handoff, and that's Connor Barrett driving his way across the 45 out to the 48-yard line for a gain of 6, bringing up 2nd down and 4.
And Connor Barrett, running back for the Colts, as I mentioned before, a guy they're going to lean on heavily, I'm sure. He will take a lot of the load for the Colts tonight.
So 2nd down and 4 for Chartiers Valley with the ball at their own 48-yard line. Beatty looks across the middle, and he had an open receiver, but the quick hands by Michael Roman swats the ball to the turf here at the Wolverine. The intended receiver, Sean Bannis, but the ball didn't get anywhere near him.
Yeah, Sean Bannis was wide open across the middle. Just a great play by Michael Roman. Bannis on the year, 332 yards receiving. He has 23 catches and 4 touchdowns for the Colts, so he will be a key target, I'm sure.
So 3rd down and 4 for Chartiers Valley. Shotgun this time with Griffin Beatty handing off. Ball carrier is Connor Barrett, and Barrett is met at the line of scrimmage and driven down. Meredith also in on the stop for Woodland Hills is Caleb Brevard. That brings up 4th down and 4.
Great job by the Wolverines there to, after that nice first down play for the Colts, just close the door and getting ready to get the ball back.
Griffin Beatty, the punter as well as the quarterback for Chartiers Valley, stands at his own 34-yard line, receives a good snap, and gets it away under some duress. Takes a bounce in favor of Chartiers Valley and will roll down inside of the 15, and it'll finally die around the 14-yard line, or to be 1st down and 10 for Chartiers Valley. Painting the picture for our radio audience, far sideline, Woodland Hills wears their home uniforms. Black jerseys, black pants, turquoise helmets with the black ears and stripes, and the turquoise numerals with the white trim. Near sideline, Chartiers Valley wears their road whites. White jerseys, white pants, red numerals with the blue trim and the blue lids. Numbers on the left side, and a horse's head on the right, indicative of the Chartiers Valley Colts. So after the punt, Woodland Hills takes over at their own 14. And the handoff will go to the tailback. Nothing doing there on the first play from scrimmage for the Woodland Hills offense. As coming in to make the stop was Jaden Davis. Nowhere to go for Anthony Meredith.
Yeah, Chartiers Valley looked ready for that one. And they were able to take down Anthony Meredith for nothing there. I'm sure we'll see Meredith and Clark taking a lot of carries tonight for the Wolverines.
Second down and 10. Meredith takes the carry. He's got room across the 20, the 25, out towards the 30. First down and more for Woodland Hills. Anthony Meredith on the carry. Finally brought down by Thomas Heckroth. And a big pickup there sets Woodland Hills up 1st and 10 at the 35.
And a nice quick pitch there by Judson. Got the ball to Meredith quick, and he saw a really nice hole. Wolverines opened up a nice hole on the right side, and big gain out to the 35 now.
And off. Meredith, the ball carrier again, has a crease over the left side. Absorbs some contact as he crosses the 40 out to the 42-yard line. And a tough tackle there by Troy Donofrio. And that brings up second down and a very manageable 3.
Yeah, Meredith doing one of the things he does best. He loves to take that contact. Able to get a couple extra yards after lowering the shoulder there.
Rain falling hard here in Turtle Creek. As it's second down and 3 for Woodland Hills. The ball at their own 42. Judson under center. Delay handoff. Meredith, the ball carrier, drives his way forward for a gain of 1 before he's brought down by a herd of Colts. Leading the way for Chartiers Valley, Hunter Curran.
It looks like on this wet night, Coach Tim Bostard wants to start by running the ball as much as he can until the Colts can prove they can stop it. Did a good job there, and now Wolverines have a 3rd and about a long 2 here.
Judson will step under center. 3rd down and 2 for Woodland Hills. The line to gain the 45, the ball at the 43. Pitch to Meredith. Runs to the right-hand side and looked to cut it back, but didn't have any room to do so. And he will be brought down a yard shy of the first down marker by Sean Bannis. And the punting team will come out for Woody High here on 4th down and 1.
Yeah, something you don't see too often is Meredith getting stopped in those short yardage situations when he has some space. But the Colts did a good job there of stopping him short, and now the Wolverines look to get a good punt away. Put the ball back in the hands of the Colts.
Hanchett will punt, low snap. He gathers it in and gets it away just around a Chartiers Valley Colt, and Hanchett's punt takes a very good bounce in favor of Woodland Hills, and a nice job by one of the gunners for Woody High to get down there, and Armani Bailey downs it at the 1-yard line. Did a great job of turning his back to the goal line and downing that ball before it went into the end zone.
Certainly did Bailey. Special teams, always key, especially tonight in a game like this that might be more of a defensive battle with this rain and this wetness if it keeps coming.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 1-yard line for Chartiers Valley. Last regular season game for both of these teams. Chartiers Valley has been eliminated from the playoffs. Woodland Hills wins, and they're in, as they will qualify as the 5th place team out of the Allegheny 8 conference. Even if they finish tied with Baldwin, they have the head-to-head victory over the Highlanders. Motion man from right to left. As the pass across the field, Griffin Beatty finds a receiver in tight end Sean Bannis, and Bannis is brought down out at the 18-yard line, a pickup of 17 on that play, and Chartiers Valley gets out of the shadow of their own end zone.
And now going to the hurry up here. Bannis was wide open there for the Colts.
And Beatty hands off, and the handoff is fumbled, and falling down on the football is Antonio Zambrano. And Zambrano falls on it at the line of scrimmage. No gain, no loss, brings up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, most likely that rain playing a factor already here, as the exchange wasn't very clean. Zambrano was not able to pull it in, and luckily he was able to jump on it for the Colts.
2nd down and 10 for Chartiers Valley. The ball's in the middle of the field as the Colts go right to left across your computer screen. 2 receivers split right, 1 to the near side left, tight end to the left of the formation set as a wing, and a sidecar to the left-hand side of the quarterback. And a pass out towards the middle as quarterback Griffin Beatty was looking for the tight end Sean Bannis, but a collision right near the line of scrimmage prevented that timing pattern from working out in favor of the visiting team, and that brings up 3rd down and 10.
It actually looked like Bannis made the contact himself, maybe trying to buy a call or something. The ball looked like it was a little overthrown. He might have been able to get there. It was a floater ball, so he might have had time to run underneath it, but Wolverines force a key third down here early.
Clock stops, 6:27 to play first quarter. Woodland Hills on top of Chartiers Valley 7-0 after Christopher Jones returned the opening kickoff for a TD. Beatty in the pistol with two backs behind him, and Beatty is going to hand off to the first back up the gut, and no room for him to go as Josh Rawlings, amongst others, makes the tackle on the ball carrier, Connor Barrett.
Good job by the Wolverines not getting sucked in there, and they were able to take him down fast.
So gain of 1 after the ball is spotted, and that brings up 4th down and 9, and Beatty is on to punt it away for Chartiers Valley. Looks like William Clark back deep to return for Woodland Hills, but can't really tell from this angle at this point. Knuckling punt towards the near sideline, takes a neutral bounce, and then bounces in favor of Woodland Hills, and will be downed by Chartiers Valley near the 45-yard line by Patrick McGaugh. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills inside of Colts territory. They'll stay at the 44.
Yeah, it looked like Armani Bailey actually back there. We didn't have a very good angle until after the play at him to read the number, and it looks like Coach Tim Bossard's giving some of the underclassmen a chance here at some return game.
Woodland Hills' second drive of the game starts at the Chartiers Valley 44 with 5:43 to play here in quarter number 1. Handoff, Meredith hesitates, then drives his way to the line of scrimmage, picks up a yard, but no further. Tackle made by Bannis. Also in on the stop is defensive lineman Hunter Curran.
Heavy dosage of Anthony Meredith so far. See when they might mix in William Clark. Meredith doing a good job so far, though, for the Wolverines.
2nd down and 9 for Woodland Hills. The line to gain is the Chartiers Valley 34-yard line. The ball set at the 43. Play action, Judson rolling to his left, settles, throws. Josh Rawlings, the intended receiver, but the pass out of reach for the big 6'5" tight end.
Yeah, tough throw for Judson to make, getting pressured, and had to throw it across his body there. And it was a little bit too high for Josh Rawlings. So the Wolverines have a 3rd and long now.
Ball near the right hash for Woodland Hills here on 3rd down and 9, with the ball at the Chartiers Valley 43-yard line. Wolverines going left to right across your TV or computer screen. Head coach Tim Bostard in his 2nd year, looking to take the Wolverines back to the playoffs for the 2nd year in a row under his tutelage. High backfield behind Judson, straight drop back, looking left the whole way, throwing to the left-hand side. The pass intended for Michael Coleman is incomplete. Defender Jordan Demas over there on that far sideline really didn't make much of a play, just stood between the intended receiver Coleman and the football.
Yeah, Demas definitely did enough there to distract Coleman and get his eyes off the ball and just get his body in the way there, which made it very difficult for Coleman to make the play, but good coverage.
Rain falling pretty hard here in Turtle Creek for this final regular season game. Chucky Hanchett to punt. Low snap, bounces into his midsection, and he gets it away under duress. Sky-high punt will be fair caught by Chartiers Valley. And on the fair catch is Connor Barrett, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Colts. The ball at the 17.
And Woodland Hills defense just has to keep it up, keep doing what they're doing. In the past 4 conference games, they've only allowed 7 points, the defense has, and that's just a big stat to put up in your last 4 conference games. So if they can keep it up, keep Char Valley off the board, hopefully the offense can get it rolling. They're struggling a little bit early tonight.
4 punts after Woodland Hills returned the opening kickoff, and Chartiers Valley has it on their 3rd possession of the game. They'll split 2 receivers to either side. Now motion a receiver from left to right. Pass across the middle, and it is caught. Connor Barrett on the reception for Chartiers Valley, and he'll be finally dragged down by Jay Smith inside of Woodland Hills territory at the 47-yard line. Leaping reception for Barrett there sets Chartiers Valley up in decent field position for the first time today. They're in Woodland Hills real estate.
Yeah, Woodland Hills secondary has to tighten up. Char Valley's starting to realize if they're going to stay in this game, and want to win this game, they're not going to do it by running the ball much. They're going to have to go down the field and over the middle, try and exploit the secondary.
2 receivers right, 1 to the near side left. Ball in the middle of the field. 1st and 10 for Chartiers Valley at the Woodland Hills 47. Beatty hands off, and Connor Barrett, the ball carrier, up the gut, gets inside of the 45 to the 44-yard line. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
Good job by the Wolverines there to slow it down, only give up a couple there after such a big play for the Colts to get into Wolverine territory.
Griffin Beatty in the shotgun this time. Sidecars to either side with Zambrano to his left and Barrett to his right. 2 receivers split to the far side right. A little movement before the snap, but whistles don't blow, and Beatty's going to keep it himself, trying to run to the left, but Jay Smith stops him a yard deep in the backfield. A loss of 1 brings up 3rd down and about 7.
Also a nice job there by Michael Coleman getting the initial pressure, and then cleaning it up was Jay Smith, and it looked like maybe Chris Jones was in there as well for the Wolverines.
Now they'll push that ball back to the 46. The initial spot was the 45. Looked like the 46 was the better of the 2 spots and the truer of the 2 spots. Loss of 2 brings up 3rd down and 9 for Chartiers Valley. Wildcat now for Char Valley as Connor Barrett is the deep man. Jumps, throws, and the pass intended for the tight end, Sean Bannis, is incomplete. And I haven't seen a jump pass in a very long time. But you saw one there, and the incomplete pass brings up 4th down and 9.
You know, often you see those more on the goal line, but it was looking like it was going to work. It looked like Damon Bundridge was going to be open further down the field, and he didn't have that pass as he was getting pressured, so he tried to go shorter, and ball fell short.
Beatty on to punt again as Chartiers Valley with their best offensive drive, but it dies, and now a punt for the Colts, and it'll be returned by Woodland Hills, and it's Jay Smith to the far sideline, and he is wrapped around the shoulder but escapes the first wave of tacklers, now cuts through some more white jerseys and finally will be brought down near the 30, maybe the 31-yard line, and that's where Jay Smith was before he decided to reverse his field, cut it back, and bring it towards the near side.
Yeah, Jay Smith showcasing his athleticism and his speed there. Almost got that last hole that he needed to take it to the house, but good job by the Colts to contain him and take him down at the 30-yard line. That's where the Wolverines will start.
1st and 10 for Woodland Hills, the ball at their own 30. It's the 3rd possession for the Wolverines after returning the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Pistol this time as Rawlings motions from right to left, low snap, but Judson pitches it off, and it's Meredith, the ball carrier, running left, has some room, picks up the 1st down, dragging tacklers with him. He'll cross the 45 out towards the 47-yard line, but there's a flag down behind the play, and in all likelihood this is going against Woody High.
Holding offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat 1st down.
So Steve Dobis, the one who threw the flag, says that it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Looked like it might have been there early on Caleb Brevard.
On the offense, that penalty's declined.
So 2 fouls against Woodland Hills. Chartiers Valley will decline the 2nd of the 2, especially considering the holding penalty took place in the backfield. Back at the 25, and this will push Woodland Hills back to the 15. The line to gain is the 40, so that is 1st down and 25.
Tough one to take for the Wolverines there after a nice hard run by Anthony Meredith. Got to collect themselves now. Get back to work.
Low snap again, but Judson gathers it in and hands off to Meredith, who runs to his right-hand side, crosses the 15 out towards around the 17-yard line, where Bannis makes the tackle for Chartiers Valley. And that brings up 2nd down and 23 with the ball at the 17.
We're seeing early here that it's the Bs for Chartiers Valley with Bannis and Beatty and Barrett. They're making a lot of plays early, and I'm feeling they're going to be all over the field tonight for the Colts.
Bannis assisted by James Lang on the play.
Just over 2 minutes to play here in the 1st quarter as Judson throws to his left-hand side, and the pass to that far boundary intended for Jay Smith is incomplete, and that brings up 3rd down and 23 for Woodland Hills with the ball at the 17.
Had the right idea there, did the Wolverines, as you got single coverage over there, and you got that speed of Jay Smith. He can beat just about anybody in the Whippeal, but pretty good coverage there. And they were able to force the Wolverines into a 3rd and very long.
Two receivers split to the wide side right, tight end to the left of the formation. Judson pitches. Smith on the end around, running left, cutting it back right, driving his way forward. He'll get out towards the 19-yard line before being tossed to the turf by a couple of Colts. Bannis leading the charge again defensively for Char Valley. And a gain of just a yard and a half there for Jay Smith on the end around, brings up 4th down and about 21.
Colts just read that play well. It's nice to get the ball into Jay Smith's hands. Nice to see a little bit something different there, but we'll see what the Wolverines can do now on defense.
Another low snap that Hanchett just gets away. It'll take a bounce in favor of Woodland Hills and will be returned by Thomas Heckroth. Heckroth retreating, trying to get away from Woodland Hills tacklers, finally forced to the far boundary where he is brought down. And that brings up 1st and 10 for Chartiers Valley with the ball at the 49.
Good starting field position for Chartiers Valley. And, you know, Chucky Hanchett's done a great job so far tonight of handling these bad snaps. And that's going to be key, especially something like that where you're backed up very close to your end zone. And he's done a good job of not only handling the bad snaps, but getting off pretty decent punts.
Best starting field position of the game for Chartiers Valley on this drive. The ball at the Woodland Hills, or rather at their own 49-yard line. Sidecars to either side of quarterback Beatty. He'll hand off, and the first man through is brought down inside of Woodland Hills territory. A pickup of 3 for Antonio Zambrano.
Pretty decent gain there on 1st down for Chartiers Valley. They'll take that on the ground as they've had some struggles here tonight running the ball. The success more so has been through the passing game.
Just under a minute to play here in the first quarter. Woodland Hills on top of Chartiers Valley by a score of 7-0. Shotgun again for Beatty. Sidecars to either side. One receiver split to the right-hand side. Beatty's going to keep it himself, running to the left where Jay Smith makes the tackle at the 45-yard line. A pickup of 3 on that play for Beatty. And now we're down inside of 30 seconds to go in quarter number 1.
Here we see Beatty, as we talked about before the game. He likes to run the ball as well as pass out of the quarterback position and does a good job of it, getting him up to the 45 of the Wolverines territory.
And it looks like Chartiers Valley will be more than happy to allow this clock to expire, as the official didn't chop in the play clock until we were inside of 25 seconds to go in the first frame.
It's the end of the first quarter.
So quarter 1 in the books. Woodland Hills on top of Chartiers Valley by a score of 7-0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Colts on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 3/4 of a century. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back in Turtle Creek, where Woodland Hills leads Chartiers Valley by a score of 7-0, set to begin quarter number 2 here in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. Chartiers Valley with the ball, 3rd down and 4 at the Woodland Hills 45-yard line. Adam Gusky, Eric Shuley on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Final regular season game. Woodland Hills wins and they're in the playoffs. Chartiers Valley, they've already been eliminated from postseason play. Beatty throwing to the near side. Bannis, that is the tailback, Connor Barrett, who was setting up to throw, and he is brought down in the backfield. Josh Rawlings, amongst others, sniffed that play out quickly. There was nowhere for Connor Barrett to go as he caught that lateral pass, and a big loss on the play for Chartiers Valley brings the punt unit on.
Nice play call by Chartiers Valley, mixing it up, and it was definitely a lateral, but it was close, actually. It almost was a forward pass.
Loss of 12 on that play. Could have been more, but the officials with a reasonably generous spot. And the ball sky high, and the punter Beatty, also the QB, gets it away, and it takes a bounce in favor of Chartiers Valley, where it will continue to roll. And a Wolverine got awfully close to that football, and that Wolverine is getting an earful on that far sideline after doing so. An ill-advised decision there by Woodland Hills player over there on that far sideline. And you can see the disdain on the face of Maurice Walker, one of the assistant coaches.
Yeah, there's no reason to be around that ball. It could take a weird bounce off you, and you got plenty of Colts around that could have jumped on that. So luckily for the Wolverines, they will retain the ball, retain possession here. Wolverines having struggles with low snaps, and now the Colts are having trouble with high snaps on the punts.
Woodland Hills starting this drive at their own 22. After an opening kickoff return for a touchdown, we've seen nothing but punts. Now a big run for Anthony Meredith across the 35-yard line out towards the 38, where he is finally brought down. It's a first down for Woodland Hills on the pickup on that play of 16 yards.
Nice inside handoff there for the Wolverines out of the shotgun. Possibly had the Colts looking more for a pass, opened up the defense a little bit, gave some space for Meredith to run. Big first down.
Chartiers Valley player goes down after heading back towards the defensive huddle. Determines that he cannot participate in the next play. Seems like he may have cut a thumb in the eye or something to that extent. Woodland Hills, with the win, will qualify for the playoffs. Hopefully they get that victory tonight. And if so, we will have the coverage for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network next Friday night. And of course, playoff pairings will be announced this upcoming Monday. And you can tune into the Trib Live High School Sports Network this upcoming Monday to see exactly where Woodland Hills will be playing and whom they will be playing against.
Yeah, not the Wolverina tonight. Sadly, we won't be here if we do make the playoffs. But as far as the Wolverina goes, 2-2 here so far this year, Adam, of the Wolverines. A tough loss at the first game of the year in the Whitfield Showcase versus everyone against Woodrow Wilson, and then another tough loss here against Upper St. Clair in a game in which a lot of mistakes led to that loss, as the Wolverines only lost that game by 2 points. Gave up no offensive touchdowns to Upper St. Clair. That was a tough pill to swallow. But 2 other wins here against Kiski and Baldwin have resulted in that 2-2 record here at the Wolverina.
1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. The ball at their own 38 after the injured Colt is helped to the sidelines. Shotgun for Judson. Twins to either side. Ball in the right hash. She'll send a motion man from right to left. Play action, and the handoff will go against the grain to Meredith as he will bring the ball out towards the 45. Brought down at the 44-yard line. Tackle made by Connor Barrett.
Surprised that play didn't go for longer, as it looked like a lot of the Colts were sucked in on the jet sweep to Jay Smith. Meredith looked like he may have slipped up there, looked a little bit upset after the play, and he wasn't able to get even more yardage out of that play.
Thomas Heckroth also in on the stop for Chartiers Valley on that previous play. 2nd and 4 for Woodland Hills. The ball at the 44. The line to gain is the 48. Long handoff goes to Meredith. He'll lower the shoulder and drive his way for a Woodland Hills first down, crossing the 48 out towards the 49-yard line. Down at the bottom of the pile, Hunter Curran on a tackle for Char Valley.
Meredith shown his versatility at the prior run. He got to the edge, showed some speed. Now here, he runs straight up the middle, up the gut, shows his power, and gets a big first down for the Wolverines.
Seemed like Meredith may have got the ball just across the 48, but they'll spot it right at the 48, and it's still enough for the Woodland Hills first down. So reasonably irrelevant at this point. Twins to either side. Sidecar to the left-hand side of Judson. Motion man from right to left to Smith. Smith will take the end around, run into the near boundary. Tries to step around a Chartiers Valley player to no avail, as Jordan Demas not only made the tackle, but he was being held in the process. And a flag is down, and that is going to cost Woodland Hills 10 yards from the spot.
That's a shame, Adam, because Jordan Demas, while he did a great job on that play to break through the holding and get the tackle, he's only about 5'9". You got Josh Rawlings, who's 6'6" against him. A huge mismatch on the near side here. Wolverines were not able to take advantage of it.
Check in with our referee, Steve Dobus, to determine what this penalty is, but it's pretty evident that is a holding penalty against Woodland Hills. The determination here is, are we going to take the penalty or not?
Offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
So the spot of the foul was the 44-yard line, so that's going to back Woodland Hills up to their own 34. This drive started at the Woodland Hills 22. Woodland Hills got the ball out to the 48 prior to the penalty, and now the officials, after lengthy discussions, finally determined that the flag was thrown at the line of scrimmage at the 48, backing Woodland Hills up to the 38. So it could have been second down and about 14 for Woodland Hills, or first down and 20. Chartiers Valley opts for the first and 20. It'll be first and 10 for Woodland Hills, or rather first and 20 for Woodland Hills with the ball at the 38.
On the Wolverines, I don't mind having that extra shot with the extra down on the first and 20, as you mentioned, Adam.
And now referee Steve Dobas talking things over some more with our officials. Now, the flag was thrown right near the line of scrimmage. I have no doubt about that. The question is that are they going to enforce it from where the flag was thrown or where the play ended? Now, in high school football, it's from the spot of the foul. But they're going to say now that the spot of the foul was at the end of the play.
From the end of the run. 10 yards from the end of the run.
Okay.
So 1 yard.
All right. All right. Well, we'll take it. First and 21 now with the ball at the 36. Two receivers right to the short side left as the ball's on the left hash, and Judson is in the pistol with Meredith behind him.
Just again, this mismatch over here, I can't stress it enough. Troy D'Onofrio, the only other guy looking like the safety over the top here on the near side. Rawlings has a major advantage over both of them in height. And we're still halted here.
Yes, we are. This gives Tim Boston an opportunity to talk to his quarterback, Gavin Judson. As referee Steve Dobas continues to talk things over. Eric, I want to thank you and your dad, Jim Shuley, for stepping up last week at Moon and putting together a great broadcast. I know they've got a tight press box, but very accommodating folks out there in the West Hills of Pittsburgh, and certainly made our broadcast as easy as possible considering their limited press facilities.
He was happy to join.
Pistol formation on first down and 21. Ball at the 36. Judson takes the pistol snap, runs to his right-hand side as he's pressured, and now he'll be wrapped and brought down. The ball came loose. Steve Dobas, the referee, says that Judson was within the grasp and on his way down. Big sack there by James Lang cost Woodland Hills more yards, back to around the 22.
Yeah, that's where you have to see this offensive line missing some guys. That's really hurting the Wolverines. Judson had some time, but he kept going back and back and back, and they were able to track him down and take him down for a huge sack. And now I would assume the Wolverines might just run this one here and try and get some extra yardage.
Second and a mile as this ball is back at the 22 where the drive started. The line to gain is the 42. So that's a 36-yard hill to climb for Woodland Hills as William Clark takes his first carry of the game, and he'll carry it out across the 30 to the 34-yard line. And last week, State Senator Jay Costa, player of the game, picks up a good 12 yards on that play, bringing up a third down and still a little less than a country mile at this point.
Yeah, two big touchdowns last week for William Clark, both in the second half. He had 171 yards rushing on 19 carries. It's been a big part of the Wolverines' offense and defense this year as he slots in at cornerback.
Two receivers left, one to the far side right. Judson, pistol, hands off Clark. Clark tries to slide through a tackle to no avail, and a stop made near the line of scrimmage by Sean Bannis. And Clark picks up maybe 3 yards across the 35 out to the 36-yard line, but still fourth and very long for Woodland Hills. And Chucky Hanchett's got his work cut out for him on this punt.
And just the struggles continue for the Wolverines offense. They are just not clicking, and too many penalties.
Another snap that dribbles to Hanchett, and this time he can't get a hold of it. The ball is loose. It's still loose. It's still loose, and finally will be covered up by a Chartiers Valley Colt at the 16-yard line. And those snap issues have been a bugaboo for the Woodland Hills punt team all season long. And right there, one that really could be a backbreaker for Woodland Hills, as they may see this lead disappear as the Colts have the ball in very good field position at the Wolverines 16.
Yeah, it's a shame that we have to even talk about that still now in the 10th game of the season, but Chucky Anchett, not really his fault. That's as we mentioned before, he was doing a good job of handling those low snaps all night. Once in a while, it's going to come back to get you, and right there it did. Now the defense has to stand tough and get a turnover here for the Wolverines.
Beatty, shotgun, looks to run left. Now we'll cut it up the middle inside of the 10 where he is shouldered to the turf. Tackle made by Michael Coleman. But a nice gainer there for Chartiers Valley from the 16 down to the 9. A pickup of 7 brings up second down and a very manageable 3.
Yeah, it was a nice run there. And now they're going to the hurry up, looking to catch the defense off guard.
Handoff goes to Barrett. Barrett running right, and he'll be spun out of bounds inside of the 5 and around the 3-yard line. A little extra toss at the end of the play is going to cost Woodland Hills half the distance to the goal line.
Yeah, it looked like Roman didn't really know what to do there as he had the Colts running back, Connor Barrett, in the grasp, and then he tried to let go, but right into the fence did he go.
Late hit out of bounds on the defense, half the distance to the goal. First down.
So the ball carrier, Connor Barrett, was tossed out of bounds at the 3. The ball will be spotted at the 1.5, where it's first and goal for Chartiers Valley. Colts 1.5 yards away from making it a 1-point game, and follow that up by a PAT, and we could be tied. Barrett runs the Wildcat, runs to his right. Driving the pile, he'll get inside of the 1, but no further. A nice surge by the Woodland Hills defense there to keep Barrett out of the end zone, at least on first and goal.
Yeah, good job by the Wolverines defense, and also had some help because Connor Barrett looked very tentative running that ball, did not have much power, and he's a big guy, so that's surprising that he kind of let up there, and he didn't try and take his body into the end zone there even harder. Got hit by too many Wolverines.
Now Beatty will step under center for the first time today. And he lost the snap. The ball is loose. Does Woodland Hills come out of the bottom of the pile with the football? We shall see. And Woodland Hills does have the football. Running out of the pile with it is Jay Smith. The officials are looking for the football. They don't realize Jay Smith has it. They're going to say it's Chartiers Valley ball. How is that humanly possible?
I don't think that makes any sense right now. As Jay Smith comes out of the pile with the football, they're going to say Chartiers Valley had it?
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know what evidence they're using.
Yeah,
but
the ball was kicked around down inside of the pile there, and you can see that there's a scrum for it, and a Wolverine ran out of there with it. Now, it wasn't Jay Smith, it was Jeffrey Williams, number 12. But the Wolverine that came out of there with it is less relevant than the fact that a Wolverine came out of there with it.
It was a black jersey, and it was Jeffrey Williams, and this makes no sense now that Chartiers Valley even still has this ball in their possession.
Timeout. Offense.
So Char Valley takes a timeout. We'll step away too. 6:28 to play, second quarter. Woodland Hills up 7-zip. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Serving the Turtle Creek Valley and neighboring Woodland Hills communities for over 110 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home now offers crematory services at their Turtle Creek location. Families choosing cremation can have added peace of mind knowing that their loved one never leaves the care of Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, and that their crematory is used exclusively for the families they serve.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
7-0 Woodland Hills on top of Chartiers Valley. 6:28 to play, second quarter. The Colts with the ball, third and goal at the 1. Again, pistol, or rather a Wildcat formation as Connor Barrett is set in the shotgun. Sidecars to either side. And Barrett's going to take the direct snap and take it into the end zone for a 1-yard Chartiers Valley touchdown. Eric, during that entire timeout, Woodland Hills head coach Tim Bostard was trying to get an explanation from referee Steve Dobas, and he was not satisfied by anything Dobas had to say during that entire conversation.
Yeah, I'm glad he went out there and talked to him, because nothing he was going to say was going to satisfy him. Like you said, Jeffrey Williams had the ball. And that is a tainted touchdown right there for Chartiers Valley. Never should have happened. Don't know why they were allowed to keep that ball.
So the Colts on to attempt the point after touchdown. Adam Weiss, the kicker, 5'8" senior. Good snap. Hold down, the kick up, and that kick inside of the left upright and good. And with 6:23 to play in the second quarter, we've got ourselves a tie football game. Woodland Hills 7, Chartiers Valley 7. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Fans along the far sideline not at all happy that Chartiers Valley has tied this football game. A fumble on the quarterback center exchange on second down, and the Wolverines came out of there with the football, but on third down, Chartiers Valley had another chance and ended up returning it, or taking it into the end zone for a touchdown. Speaking of returns, this is Jay Smith on the return for Woodland Hills, and he is cut down as he crosses the 25, and what was in all likelihood a touchdown-saving tackle by Thomas Heckroth for Chartiers Valley.
Just got tripped up there to Jay Smith, and you're right, he had plenty of room to run if he was able to break that one tackle. Just wasn't able to get out of it, and now the Wolverines, decent starting field position, not great by any means, but they'll take it.
Defense on that play by Thomas Heckroth.
And the ball will be at the 29 where Woodland Hills starts this drive. Woodland Hills has punted on every offensive drive today. Chartiers Valley has scored on only one offensive drive as the handoff goes to William Clark, and he tries to spring free to the right-hand side, but down around his ankles was a Colt to make the stop, and that's Banis on the tackle for CV.
Yeah, it's tough running the ball tonight for the Wolverines, missing some guys on that offensive line. They might be forced to try to open it up and do some quick passing to negate that struggling offensive line tonight.
2nd and 9, Woodland Hills.
Woodland Hills with the football. Judson bobbles the snap but gathers it in. Rolls off of play action, looks to this near side, and the pass intended for Josh Rawlings through his hands. It's the INT for Demas, and Demas down the near boundary into the end zone for a Chartiers Valley touchdown, and the Colts have a 6-point lead.
Yeah, it was a tough throw for Judson to make. Everything's along the sideline. The Wolverines are so timid across the middle. They don't want to go across the middle, and it forces a big pick six for Chartiers Valley. And yet again, the Wolverines giving up touchdowns in weird ways.
So the pick six down the near boundary for 43 yards went Jordan Demas. So the lead at 6 right now for Chartiers Valley. And the PAT by Adam Weiss would make it 7. Good snap, hold down, kick up, and that kick splits the uprights good. 5:29 to play, second quarter. Chartiers Valley scores on 2 consecutive plays. It's Woodland Hills trailing Chartiers Valley 14-zip. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Bush Brothers Car Care Center in Swissvale has been a Monongahela Avenue institution for over 30 years. Bush Brothers is a full-service mechanic and tire shop for all types of vehicles. Whether you need mechanical work, an alignment, state inspection and emissions testing, new tires, or just an oil change, Bush Brothers is the place for you. Bush Brothers Car Care Center, Monongahela Avenue in Swissvale, or give Martin and Jason a call at 412-351-5342.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Things have gotten reasonably precarious for Woodland Hills after holding a 7-0 lead into the second quarter. A bad punt snap by the Woodland Hills punt team gave Chartiers Valley the ball at the Woodland Hills 6. A few plays later, a touchdown. And then on the ensuing drive by Woodland Hills, a pick 6 by CV. And it's 14-7 Chartiers Valley as Christopher Jones on the return for Woodland Hills. Brings the ball out across the 35 to the 37-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. Woodland Hills needs a sustained offensive drive here. They need to tie this football game before the half expires.
Yeah, really the only good thing for Woodland Hills so far in the first half was that opening kickoff touchdown return. They've had some strong points on defense, but the offense has struggled mightily in this first half, just like last week against Moon in the first half.
Judson under center, hand off, dancing and then driving his way forward goes Clark. He'll cross the 40 out to the 41-yard line, and a pickup of 4 brings up 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, DeJuan Howell's getting involved with James Lang and some extracurriculars after the play. Luckily, no flags were thrown as they were pushing and shoving.
Clock winding, under 5 minutes to play here in the second frame. Woodland Hills breaks the huddle, sending one receiver to the near side left and one to the far boundary right. Judson will step under center with an eye backfield behind him. Counter coming to the near side left. Clark has a crease across the 45 to the 50, inside of the 45 where he will be brought down. A big gainer there for William Clark as the stop made by Jordan Demas.
Yeah, nice job by William Clark, and he had a pretty decent hole, but you could see the acceleration after he got through the hole and just kind of nowhere else to go but run into Coleman and Demas there.
Great job there by DeJuan Howells to pull from the right side over to the left, sealed off 2 Colts to help spring the ball carrier Clark and get Woodland Hills into Chartiers Valley territory. Eye backfield again as Clark moved.
False start, offense, 5 yards, still first down.
Now Clark with that false start cost Woodland Hills 5 yards, will be pushed back to the 49-yard line. And so often, especially in the high school and even the collegiate level, a lot of times when a back moves, he'd be well served maybe just to fade to the left a little bit there. Continue in motion until the play starts and then cut it back to the right. The play was designed to go to the right. Had he done that, it would have negated the penalty.
Absolutely. Sometimes you can hide it that way, Adam.
Woodland Hills running the pitch to the right. Meredith slides through a tackler inside of the 50. He'll take it down to the 46-yard line for a pickup of 3, bringing up 2nd down and a dozen.
They are biting so hard on the run every time, Chartiers Valley, rightfully so, as the Wolverines aren't passing much, but they could mix in a little bit of play action here. They could really, really catch the secondary for the Colts off guard.
Well, the issue is that while Woodland Hills has run a few play action passes, they haven't been able to get the ball off, and if they have, it hasn't been the best pass of the night. Judson, straight drop back, looking right the whole way, throwing to his right-hand side, and the pass will be intercepted. 2nd INT of the game for Judson. This time it's Heckroth with the interception. Michael Coleman makes the tackle, and Chartiers Valley has the ball at their own 20.
Yeah, he just didn't have it there to Judson. It was a nice, strong throw, but he didn't have the receiver Coleman open at all, and nice play for the Colts, and this is just turning into a bit of a nightmare now for the Wolverines on senior night at home.
So the interception there by Thomas Heckroth, and he's brought down at the 20 where Chartiers Valley has the long field in front of them, but they certainly have the momentum behind them. Again, it is the Wildcat as Barrett is the tailback in the Wildcat, takes the carry over to the right-hand side. He's got a crease, he's got room across the 30 to the 40, out towards the 50-yard line, and he will finally be driven to the far boundary and brought down inside of Woodland Hills territory at the 37.
Yeah, Woodland Hills really needs to make some adjustments here. They are just getting it's something you don't see very often here from the Wolverines defense. They're running right down their throat. And it was just a nice run by Barrett. And so many Wolverines committed there, and he had so much room to run as they were all in the box and now into Woodland Hills territory.
3:04 to play second quarter. Woodland Hills down 7. Colts have the ball inside of Woodland Hills territory at the 37. Again, it is Barrett running the Wildcat, the tailback in the Wildcat. He's trying to spin away from Wolverines to no avail, and he will be cut down by Anthony Meredith for a loss of a few back to the 42. So it'll actually be a loss of 5, bringing up 2nd down and 15.
Good job by the Wolverines there to slow it down a little bit, get them a big loss there. And certainly you can tell the Wolverines are missing a guy like Sidney Summers tonight, as they did last week. Still did a great job last week. The defense didn't give up any points. Still doing an okay job tonight as that touchdown came on such a short field.
And that came with controversy surrounding it as well, considering
Offense.
there was a fumble by Chartiers Valley. Timeout on the field. We'll step away 2. Woodland Hills down by 7. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Woodland Hills trails Chartiers Valley by a score of 14-7. Quarterback back on the field for Chartiers Valley, Griffin Beatty, and Beatty's going to hand it off, and running to the right-hand side went Antonio Zambrano. Nowhere to go for him as he's brought down. Loss of 3. And that brings up 3rd down and 18.
Great job by Caleb Brevard there. Really nice tackle. Wrapped them up. Did not let them break through the tackle. Something the Wolverines have struggled a little bit with this year on defense. If anything, that has been the tackling. But nice job by Brevard there. And now a 3rd and very long for Chartiers Valley.
Woodland Hills down by 7, 14-7, under 2 minutes to play, 2nd quarter. Colts with the ball at the Woodland Hills 45, though it's 3rd down and 18 for the visiting team. 2 receivers split to either side as a motion man from right to left sends trips to the left-hand side of the formation. Beatty pressured after a low snap, and he will be brought down inside of the 50 at the 48-yard line. Now, as Beatty was on his way to the turf, the ball was stripped away by Caleb Brevard. The officials say, though, that the ball will stay with Chartiers Valley, and it will just be a big loss.
Defense.
Take a look at the instant replay. It looked like Brevard was able to get it out just before his butt hit the ground. But if you're not going to get the call on the fumble by the goal line, you're certainly not going to get that from the officials.
Timeout on the field. We'll step away. Woodland Hills down by 7. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 3/4 of a century. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Woodland Hills down 7, but a timeout, saving some clock for Woodland Hills as the Colts are going to punt. Beatty, high snap, gets it away, end-over-end punt. It'll be returned by Jay Smith from around the 14 as he'll cut across to the far right-hand side. Trying to turn the corner, but cannot as he crosses the 20. And a big open field tackle there by Chartiers Valley. Ty Thomas keeps Woodland Hills at bay. It'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills at their own 22.
Yeah, very nice tackle by Thomas there. Was not expecting him to take down Smith, and if he was going to, I would think it'd be more of a kind of a trip-up tackle, just barely getting him and tripping him up. But he wrapped him up. Nice tackle there on a speedy Jay Smith.
First and 10 for Woodland Hills, the ball at their own 22-yard line. New quarterback in for Woodland Hills is Rodney Stubbs, and he's going to hand off to Michael Coleman running to the right-hand side. Coleman's going to step out of bounds as he takes the ball out towards the 30-yard line for a pickup of about 8.
Nice job by Coleman there, being patient and then getting out of bounds to conserve the clock for the Wolverines. But I would think if they're going to get down the field, they're going to have to pass the ball.
Bowman forced out of bounds by Colts number 21.
Second down and about 2 for Woodland Hills with the ball at the 30-yard line. Ball's on the right hash. Stubbs, the QB, twins to either side. Stubbs going to take off running to his right-hand side. Instead, decides to toss it over to that far boundary, and it's a Woodland Hills first down. Heady play there by Stubbs to hesitate and dump that off to Jay Smith for the Woody High first down.
Yeah, very nice job by Stubbs, and Jay Smith not getting out of bounds there, so that's going to hurt the Wolverines, even though the clock does stop and moving the chains, but they're going to have to get back up to the line here quick, which they are, and get this snap off fast.
Ball placed, and the official starts the clock. Just over a minute to play here. Woodland Hills down 7. Motion man from right to left as a flag comes in prior to the snap, and it'll be a false start against Woodland Hills.
Prior to snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
So instead of 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills with the ball at the 36, it'll be 1st and 15 at the 31.
You got to get back up to that ball quick because this clock is going to start.
And the official winds the clock, and Woodland Hills was not aware that the clock has started, and we have now just over 50 seconds to play here in quarter number 2. Woodland Hills down 7. Stubbs takes the shotgun snap as he rolls to his left-hand side. He's pressured, eludes the first 2 Chartiers Valley Colts. Can't get past the third as he drives his way out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. There's a stoppage on the field here as Rodney Stubbs is brought down for a loss on that play of 5.
Another flag, probably another holding on the Wolverines. And
Illegal block in the back on the offense. 10 yards from the spot of foul. Repeat first down.
just one thing after another for the Wolverines. It is spiraling out of control, and I'm sure Coach Tim Bosser just wants to get into the locker room to try and get a hold of his Wolverines as he did last week. After a very, very rough first half against Moon, they were able to come back in the second half, play much better, and get the win. Hopefully they can do the same thing tonight.
First and a very long way to go to get a first down for Woodland Hills, and a big crease for William Clark. He'll cut to the right-hand side. He's got one man to slide past. He does so, but a nice job retreating and making an open field tackle there by Connor Barrett brings up a second and much more manageable 12.
Yeah, William Clark doing it. He's been doing it all year. When you think he can't do it, he can. He does. Big run there for straight up the gut.
Timeout. Offense. That's their second timeout.
Timeout on the field. We'll step away too. Just under 24 seconds to play in the second quarter. Woodland Hills down 7. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Woodland Hills football is brought to you in part by the law offices of Owen Seaman. Owen is a Woodland Hills alumnus who studied law at Duquesne University and has been practicing law in the Pittsburgh area for over 15 years. Attorney Owen Seaman's experience encompasses virtually every facet of criminal defense. If you find yourself in need of criminal defense representation, call Owen at 412-721-0412 or visit owenthelawyer.com.
Back in Turtle Creek, where Woodland Hills trails Chartiers Valley 14-7 as the rain pours here in the eastern suburbs of Pittsburgh. Rodney Stubbs, the quarterback for the Wolverines, on 2nd and 12 at the 34, and flags before the snap again against Woody High.
Prior to snap infraction, offense, 5 yards, still second down.
22.7 seconds to play here. Woodland Hills down by 7.
Excuse me there, Adam. Sorry about that. It's just a lot of these struggles we've been seeing all year, and as I mentioned, it's a shame to see them this late in the season, the last regular season game, it's having trouble getting it together.
Referee Steve Dobas talking with his officiating crew.
We set the clock at 23 seconds. 23.
The official has asked for 0.3 of a second to be added to the clock. And
thank you.
Clock operator accommodates, and Woodland Hills facing this 2nd down and 17. The ball at their own 29. Ball's on the right hash. Stubbs the QB in the pistol with 2 receivers split to either side. Stubbs is going to hand off to William Clark, who crosses the 30 to the 31-yard line before he is driven down. And I think Woodland Hills will be more than satisfied to allow that to be the final play of the first half. Well, certainly not the way Woodland Hills wanted to see the second quarter go, as Woodland Hills watched a 7-0 lead turn into a 14-7 deficit. A step away for about 30 seconds, and when we return, we'll talk about that first half and then get you set for the second half in a little bit. It's the Wolverines and the Colts, presented by the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Wolverine Football is also brought to you by the Triangle Bar and Grill, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, the law offices of Owen Seaman, Bush Brothers Car Care, the Barbers Inn in Swissvale, LG3 Entertainment, Web Landings, A-Boss Opticians, Matthews Auto Service, and the Zubin Dental Associates. Now it's time for the Woodland Hills Football Network Halftime Show.
Woodland Hills trailing Chartiers Valley 14-7 at halftime. Adam Gusky and Eric Schuley on the call for you here in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. Woodland Hills started the game off with style. 75-yard kickoff return by Christopher Jones. The PAT by Chucky Hanchett made it 7-0. Woodland Hills, and then more than a half a dozen punts in a row, and Woodland Hills early in quarter number 2 looked to punt it away, but a bad punt snap to Chucky Hanchett rolled away from him. He tried to gather it in. It was punched away by a Chartiers Valley Colt and then recovered by Chartiers Valley at the Woodland Hills 16-yard line. The Colts drove the ball from the 16 down inside of the 1. Now, that's when some controversy happened, and what I mean by that is a fumbled quarterback and center exchange between Beatty and the Chartiers Valley snapper. And the ball was loose on the turf, and it was pulled out of there by Jeffrey Williams of the Wolverines. But Chartiers Valley kept the ball. Somehow the officials said that Chartiers Valley had the ball at the bottom of the pile at some point. From our vantage point, it certainly didn't seem to be that way. One play later, it was a touchdown by Connor Barrett, and it was 7-7 after the PAT by Weiss was up and in. And on the ensuing drive by Woodland Hills, an interception thrown by Gavin Judson, a pick 6, and the interception return made it 14-7. On the ensuing drive, Judson with another interception thrown. Chartiers Valley not able to do anything with it. Woodland Hills got the ball back. In came Rodney Stubbs, but Woodland Hills wasn't able to do anything with their final drive of the half. And Chartiers Valley takes the 7-point lead into the locker room.
Yeah, it's been a strange half, Adam. Wolverines not having a lot go their way. A lot of penalties, and on the other side of that, Chartiers Valley playing relatively flag-free football. They've done a great job of not getting called for anything, really. It's hard to blame the defense. They had to deal with that short field, and then, as you mentioned, they caused that turnover just about. Jeffrey Williams comes out with the ball, but then they give it back to Chartiers Valley. So the defense has done a decent job tonight. They've let off a few big plays, but it's really the offense, and you can tell from the absence of some offensive linemen, it's really, really hurting the Wolverines tonight.
If you're watching or listening live, you can enjoy the Woodland Hills and Chartiers Valley marching bands. If you are watching one of our replays, we'll be back momentarily as we get you set for half number 2. Again, your halftime score is Chartiers Valley 14 and Woodland Hills 7. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
It's halftime, and Woodland Hills trails Chartiers Valley by a score of 14-7. Adam Gusky and Eric Schuley on the call for you. And Eric, Woodland Hills certainly has a lot to overcome after a very tough second quarter, watching a 7-point lead turn into a 7-point deficit.
Yeah, they have been struggling a lot with penalties and on the offensive side of the ball. Defense has played okay. They've obviously had to deal with that short field. They had that turnover, but it was taken away by the referees. They gave the ball back to Chartiers Valley. But if they're able to collect themselves, this is looking a lot like last week. They struggled mightily in the first half. They were able to collect themselves, come back together, hold Moon off the board last week in the second half, and get the win. Hopefully the defense can do the same thing tonight, and the offense can get themselves together.
We are going to step away for another 2-minute timeout, and when we return, we will get you set for the second half. Again, it's the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the Chartiers Valley Colts here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
ABOS Opticians on Braddock Avenue in Braddock is your one-stop optical shop. With hundreds of the latest frame styles and lenses, the skilled opticians at ABOS will help select and fit the best eyewear option for you. Plus, ABOS Opticians is the best eyewear repair facility in the area. No matter what your eyewear needs are, make ABOS Opticians your opticians. Call ABOS Opticians at 412-271-4424 or visit abosopticians.com.
Dawn and John at Matthews Auto Service have been serving the Turtle Creek Valley for over 40 years. In addition to being a full-service gas station, Matthews offers oil changes, state inspection and emissions testing, new tires, and light mechanical work. Matthews Auto Service, Monroeville Avenue in Turtle Creek, or call them at 412-824-0940.
Thanks for tuning in to the Halftime Show on the Woodland Hills Football Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Woodland Hills Football is presented by State Senator Jay Costa. Wolverine Football is also brought to you by the Triangle Barn Grill, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, the law offices of Owen Seaman, Bush Brothers Car Care, the Barber's Inn in Swissvale, LG3 Entertainment, Web Landings, ABOS Opticians, Matthews Auto Service, and the Zubin Dental Associates. Now it's time for the second half.
(14-7), Woodland Hills trailing the Chartiers Valley Colts. Adam Gusky and Eric Schuley on the call for you as we are wrapping up our halftime coverage and getting you set for the second half. And Woodland Hills, not only do they have a 7-point lead to try to overcome by Chartiers Valley, but the Colts get the ball first to begin the second half.
Yeah, the defense is going to have to do what they've done a lot this year, and they're going to have to step up and get the ball back for the Wolverines offense. And hopefully the offense is able to sustain a drive. They've had trouble all year doing that. They've been relying on big plays. But if they're able to get a big play here or there, I'm sure the Wolverines won't mind. They got to do something to get that ball back in the end zone.
Again, Woodland Hills started the game with a kickoff return for a touchdown by Christopher Jones. That covered 75 yards, and then more than a half a dozen punts in a row between the two teams before a bad punt snap over to Chucky Hanchett was knocked loose, and Chartiers Valley ended up covering up the football at the Woodland Hills 16-yard line, and a couple of plays later they took it into the end zone after a controversial fumble that was looked like Woodland Hills recovered, but then was given back over to Chartiers Valley. And then on the ensuing drive, Gavin Judson was intercepted, and a pick six by the Colts made it 14-7. Another interception by Chartiers Valley. They weren't able to do anything with the football that time, and then Woodland Hills, their final drive of the half was stymied, and they took that 7-point deficit into the locker room.
Yeah, it's been tough for Judson tonight with the offensive line missing some guys, and then Stubbs coming in. We'll see what Coach Tim Bostard opts to do on the offensive side of the ball, whether he goes back to Judson or he keeps Stubbs in the game.
And that is a decision that Tim Bostard is going to have to make. And by the way, Eric, we were talking with some folks here in the press box, and Woodland Hills doesn't necessarily have to win this football game to make the playoffs tonight. We thought that was the case. However, if Baldwin loses, and they are losing 21-0 at halftime to Peters Township, regardless of what Woodland Hills does, Woodland Hills finishes ahead of Baldwin, and the Wolverines have the 5th spot in the conference locked up with a win or with a Baldwin loss. So Woodland Hills heads to the playoff regardless of the outcome tonight.
All right, both teams would be 2-5, and Woodland Hills would have that head-to-head tiebreaker.
Kickoff by Hanchett. End over end kick inside of the 4 down towards the 2-yard line where it'll be returned by Chartiers Valley's Andre Thomas. And Thomas is wrapped and brought down. The initial stop was made by Jeffrey Williams, and then a second Wolverine, Antonio Williams, ended up finishing up the play for Woody High.
Good start for the Wolverines on special teams there. Hopefully they can build on that and the defense can get a quick 3 and out or a turnover.
Chartiers Valley will start this drive at their own 11-yard line.
Colts first and 10 from their own 11.
Second worst starting field position of the game for CV. They started one drive, their second of the game, at their own 1. And again, they will go to the Wildcat as Connor Barrett will be the ball carrier. He'll pick up a couple of yards before being shoved back. Meredith involved in the tackle for Woody High.
Woodland Hills selling out big time on the run there with the Wildcat. Figuring Barrett wouldn't try a pass. And gotta watch that Banis through the seam pass that they tried early on in the first half that not knocked down by Michael Roman, but he was wide open. I would think Chartiers Valley would try that at some point again tonight.
Real quarterback Griffin Beatty is back in there as he's in the pistol with 2 backs behind him. High snap, but Beatty gathers it in. Hands off. Zambrano off to the races across the 40. Finally wrestled down as he approaches the 45-yard line. Tackle made by Jeffrey Williams.
Just getting through that front line, and Zambrano with a nice run for the Chartiers Valley Colts. And this Woodland Hills defense has to put an end to it quick because they're looking discouraged, and they can't let Chartiers Valley get on the board again before they do.
So first and 10 for the Colts at the 45. As they took that ball a good bit of yards there. And now the ball carrier for Chartiers Valley is Connor Barrett out of the Wildcat. And Barrett is brought down in the backfield. Tackle made by William Clark. And that loss on the play will be about 8.
Great job by the defense as they follow up that big run by Chartiers Valley with a big loss as William Clark, contributor on both sides of the ball, making a big play for the Wolverines.
Clock winding, 10:20 to play, third quarter. Woodland Hills trailing Chartiers Valley 14-7. We thank you for joining us, no matter what affiliate you are on across the Woodland Hills Football Network. Twins to either side as Beatty is in the shotgun. Barrett to his left. Beatty's going to run it himself, running to the right, gets to the line of scrimmage before being driven back by a host of Wolverines. Down at the bottom of the pile is Meredith, amongst others. So a modest gain of about a half a yard brings up third and still pretty long.
Wolverines quickly clogged that hole up fast. Now on a 3rd and long here, the Colts and Wolverines have to get a stop here.
Third about 17 and a half for Chartiers Valley as the ball's between the 37 and 38 yard lines. The line to gain is the Woodland Hills 45. One receiver split to the near side left, 2 backs behind the quarterback Beatty. Beatty's going to hand off, and the ball came loose. The ball carrier was Zambrano. He couldn't hang on to it, and Jay Smith comes out of there with the football for Woodland Hills. Woodland Hills gets the takeaway.
No doubt about that one there, Adam. Big time takeaway for the Wolverines. Not only did they need a stop there, but turnover, a huge bonus. Now great starting field position and a chance for the offense to turn things around from the way they were going in the first half.
So Smith with the recovery gives Woodland Hills the ball, 1st and 10 at the Chartiers Valley 42-yard line. 9:17 to play here in quarter number 3. Judson back in there at quarterback for Woodland Hills. High backfield as Judson hands off to Clark. He'll run to the right, slides through a tackle, still on his feet, picks up the first down, dragging 2 tacklers with him inside of the 25 to the 24-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills.
Initially did not look like he had much running room, and he really didn't, but William Clark is so tough to bring down. He's shifty and he's fast and he's powerful, and a big run down to the 25-yard line, and a great start to the drive for the Wolverines. Exactly what they need right now to get some momentum.
Looked like Clark was going to get inside of that 25, but they say the 25 instead. And Clark, again, the ball carrier, running left, has a crease over to that far sideline, dancing his way inside of the 20, inside of the 15, brought down at the 13, maybe at the 12-yard line, where another first down for Woodland Hills puts them inside of the Chartiers Valley red zone.
Big hole there that time. Nice block by Chris Jones and DeJuan Howes, setting that up for Clark, and then a really nice shifty move there to get around Jordan Demas.
1st and 10 for Woodland Hills, the ball at the 12. High backfield behind Judson. Judson hands off. Clark hesitates, then cuts to the right. Still on his feet inside of the 5. Cuts around a tackler and into the end zone for a Woodland Hills touchdown. And we're a point away from a tie ball game.
Exactly what the Wolverines needed. Not only do they get in the end zone, but they get in just power running, and they're able to build some momentum now. And no plays where they were stopped for no gain or anything just like that. Just 3 consecutive great runs, and that's going to build the confidence for the offensive line as well as William Clark.
So the 12-yard touchdown run for William Clark. Chucky Hanchett with a pivotal PAT here that can tie the ball game. Good snap, hold down, kick up, and that kick is good. And with 8:25 to play in the third quarter, we're tied at 14-all. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Woodland Hills football is brought to you in part by the law offices of Owen Seaman. Owen is a Woodland Hills alumnus who studied law at Duquesne University and has been practicing law in the Pittsburgh area for over 15 years. Attorney Owen Seaman's experience encompasses virtually every facet of criminal defense. If you find yourself in need of criminal defense representation, call Owen at 412-721-0412 or visit owenthelawyer.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
14-14 as Woodland Hills has tied the game on a 12-yard touchdown run by William Clark. It was all William Clark after the Wolverines got the takeaway from Chartiers Valley. William Clark, a couple of plays later, found himself in the end zone, and then Chucky Hanchett tied the game with a PAT. And then Chucky Hanchett booms the ensuing kickoff into the end zone for a touchback, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Char Valley at the 20.
Another opportunity for the defense here. The rain coming down a little bit harder. Most likely you'll see Chartiers Valley keep it on the ground, I would think more so, unless they see some openings through the air. But with this wet weather, you don't want to take too many chances.
Head coach Tim Bostard encouraging his team as they came off the field after tying that football game. Talking about the weather. Chilly night, 44 degrees. Pretty steady rain all night long. Minimal wind, though, as we are in late October in western PA. Motion man from left to right, bringing 3 receivers to the right of the formation as Beatty drops back, looks across the middle, and the pass intended for the receiver Barrett is incomplete. And Barrett found himself in between 2 defenders and still got his hands on the football.
Yeah, very close to being complete there indeed. Chartiers Valley not sticking with the ground attack here, as they're looking to go aggressive and get the ball in the air here, and they almost completed that pass, as we mentioned.
Incomplete pass brings up 2nd down and 10 with the ball at the 20-yard line. 8:18 to play third quarter. Woodland Hills and Chartiers Valley tied up at 14 apiece. Adam Gusky, Eric Shuley on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Trips left, 1 receiver to the far boundary right. Ball in the middle of the field as Beatty is in the pistol with 1 back behind him in Barrett. Beatty rolling to his left, tossing to his left, and the pass is complete to Sean Bannis, and Bannis drives his way out across the 40-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Chartiers Valley on the completed pass right at the 40.
And a big target, Bannis there, coming through for the Colts on a nice pass from the quarterback Beatty, and it's the play that the Colts needed. First really successful play of the second half for them offensively, other than the big run.
2 receivers to the short side left, 1 to the far boundary right, as Beatty is in the pistol with Barrett behind him. Play action as Beatty rolls to his right-hand side. Still running to his right-hand side, and he will be shouldered to the far boundary, and out of bounds he goes. And the flag is down well behind the play. And in all likelihood, this is going to back Chartiers Valley up for their first in-play infraction.
Yeah, I was going to say, this could be their first real official penalty. It's really going to hurt them.
Holding offense. 10 yards from the end of the run. Still second on. The end of the run. The end.
Well, Steve Dobus being very clear to his umpire that it is being spotted from the end of the run, as we certainly had some confusion on a similar circumstance against Woodland Hills in half number one, and the end of the run was at the 36-yard line, so now it is at the 26-yard line where it's first down and 24. Two receivers to the left, one to the far side right. Woodland Hills breaches the neutral zone on a hard count by the quarterback, Beatty.
Encroachment, defense. 5 yards, still first down.
Back Woodland Hills up 5 yards, and instead of first and 29, now it's first and 24 rather, it's first and 19. And again, movement up front. That time it was Caleb Brevard.
Prior to snap, encroachment, defense, 5 yards, still first down.
So the 10 yards from the holding penalties disappear on two straight encroachment penalties by the Woodland Hills defensive front. And instead of first down and 24, it is now first down and 14.
Wolverines continue to shoot themselves in the foot, and they just cannot do that, especially now. If they would have declined the penalty, it would have been second and 14. Now the Colts have a first and 14.
Two receivers left, wing to the left, one receiver to the far side right, pitch to the near side. The ball carrier, Connor Barrett, turns the corner, has the first down and more as he's pushed out of bounds inside of Woodland Hills territory at the 46-yard line.
Nice run by the Colts. Looked like Zachary Threats, the backup linebacker for the Wolverines, was getting held there. That was able to spring him free for Barrett, but nonetheless, big run for the Colts, and the Wolverines defense needs to make a stop here quick.
Taking a look at that again, I really saw a pretty decent open field drive block on Threats. Valley kosher that there wasn't an infraction against Char Valley there. Two receivers right, one to the near side left, wing to the right of the formation as well, as Beatty is in the shotgun, drops the snap. Now he's going to take off running to his left-hand side. Open field tackle by Michael Roman. Keeps it at a gain of 1 for the Colts.
Nice job by Michael Roman there to clean that play up and not let Beatty break free. Sometimes you see plays like that when you think it's going to start bad for the offense on a bad snap. Sometimes they're able to break free, but the trusty linebacker, Roman, making the big play for the Wolverines.
Quarterback Beatty ended up getting inside of the 45 to the 44, so it ends up being a gain of 2, bringing up second down and 8 for the Colts. Beatty in the pistol, two receivers right, one to the near side left, Barrett behind him. He feigns the pitch to Barrett, and now taking off up the middle goes Beatty, and Dewan House has his lid chucked off of his head. And the foul against Chartiers Valley in all likelihood here will be either a legal hand to the face or a holding penalty against CV.
Holding, offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
That'll be 10 yards from the 44, so the ball will be pushed back to the Chartiers Valley 46, bringing up second down and 18.
Looked like they had their pick of calls there as his helmet was ripped off there. Could have been illegal use of hands to the face, or holding.
Second and 18, ball at the 46. Chartiers Valley sends trips to the right, one receiver to the short side left. Handoff, Barrett running to his right-hand side, has some room over there as he's brought down inside of Woodland Hills territory at the 49, and a flag comes down way behind the play. Over on that far side, I shouldn't say behind the play, I should say far in front of the play. Wasn't really near the ball carrier, but still, in all likelihood, will be a downfield hold against Chartiers Valley.
Holding, offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Now our referee, Steve Dobus, said it'll be first down, however it would be second down. 10 yards marched off from the end of the run, which was also the spot of the foul. And it's second and a long way now 9 and 14, 2nd and 23.
Big opportunity here for the defense, for the Wolverines to get a big stop and push them back even further to set them back in a 3rd and very long if they can get a big key stop here.
One receiver left, one to the short side right, wing to the left of the formation. Beatty, play action. Looks left the whole way, throws it off to Barrett, and it was deflected off of the hands of Barrett, and William Clark was looking for the hit instead of trying to get the football, and the incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 23.
Exactly right, Adam. Had he been looking a little bit more for the football, he might have been able to take that to the house.
Great pressure applied by Meredith as he put the lick right on the quarterback Beatty as soon as he released the ball. Clock stopped, 7:03 to play, 3rd quarter. Tie football game at 14 all. Chartiers Valley out of the huddle with the ball on the right hash. They'll split 2 receivers to the near side left, 2 to the short side right. Pistol with Beatty and a sidecar to his right-hand side, and the receiver on the near side moved early. It'll be a false start against Chartiers Valley.
Prior to snap, false start, offense. 5 yards, 3rd down.
Well, this has become quite sloppy here through the first half of the 3rd quarter. Tons of penalties, especially against the visiting Chartiers Valley Colts, who were penalty-free through the first 24 minutes of action.
Yeah, that one looked like Connor Barrett here. He was split out as a wide receiver. He used to being back there in that tailback, halfback spot. Left very early, almost looked like arena football there as he got a running start.
Trips left, one receiver right. Beatty rolling to the near side left. The pass intended for receiver Damon Bundridge, and Bundridge couldn't catch the football and then was absolutely blasted after the ball hit the turf by a Wolverine, and that's going to cost Woodland Hills 15 yards and maybe an automatic 1st down. We'll have to see with Steve Dobus, but certainly not a smart play. I think the D-back Tamar Mason-Dean, the guilty party.
Yeah, it looked like he was coming and ready to get that hit, and actually worked out better for the Colts that the ball fell incomplete because it looked like Mason-Dean could not stop himself on that hit.
Personal foul, defenseless player on a defense, 15 yards, still 3rd down.
Well, the good news, it's not an automatic 1st down. The bad news is instead of 3rd down and 28, it's going to be 3rd down and 13.
If we take a second look at this, I really don't think Mason-Dean meant to do any damage. It was just like any damage after the fact the ball fell incomplete. He was already going for the hit. He couldn't really stop himself. You can see he didn't lower his head or anything. He had his arms first on the hit there. Just a tough break for the Wolverines.
So 3rd down and 13 for Char Valley. That pass was tipped near the line of scrimmage, which certainly threw the trajectory off, which may have actually thrown the timing off of Mason-Dean's hit. Had that ball not been tipped, maybe the hit happened simultaneously with the football arriving. So 3rd and 13, the ball at the 49. Colts double tight formation. And a broken play there as the quarterback, Griffin Beatty, went left, and it looked like it was an option maybe designed to go to the right-hand side. Beatty and the running back Zambrano not on the same page, and a big stop by Michael Coleman in the backfield brings up 4th and long, and the punt team is on finally for Chartiers Valley.
Yeah, I'm sure the eyes of Beatty got very big there as he looked back to his left and didn't see his running back Zambrano, and then looked and saw Michael Coleman headed straight for him. Did the wise thing and just surrendered and went down.
Beatty, the punter, as well as the quarterback for Chartiers Valley, stands at his own 26-yard line. And he'll get the punt away. Wobbling punt returned by Jay Smith from the 24 to the far sideline, across the 30, across the 35 to the 40. Still on his feet to the 50-yard line and spun out at the midfield stripe. It'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills.
There looks like there might be a flag on the field too, right around the 45-yard line. See what this is.
Defense on that play by Nathan Framer.
Looks like a holding after the punt was away by
1st and 10, Woodland Hills.
the Wolverines. So we'll see exactly what this call is. And if it was while the ball is in the air, it's going to be from the spot where the punt was caught.
Holding on the return team, 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
So instead of 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line, Woodland Hills is going to be pushed back inside of the 20, inside of the 15, and the umpire is going to spot the football at the 14-yard line where it's 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills.
I don't need to say it, but just an absolute killer for the Wolverines there. Just a huge penalty negates a very nice return by Jay Smith. Would have given the Wolverines great starting field position, but again, another big penalty hurts the Wolverines.
Judson under center. He's going to hand off. Ball carrier has nowhere to go as William Clark is stacked up at the line of scrimmage by Devontae Shackelford, amongst others, for Chartiers Valley.
Colts read another run play well, knew what was coming, clogged it up, nowhere to go for Clark.
2nd and 10 for Woodland Hills at their own 14. Woodland Hills with a special teams touchdown and an offensive touchdown. Chartiers Valley with an offensive touchdown and a defensive TD on the game. William Clark bursts free across the 20 to the 25. He has the first down as he crosses the 30. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills right around that 30-yard line.
Big run for William Clark. Not only does he get the first down, but he gets him out of that danger zone, being so close to the Wolverines' end zone. Able to get out, get some breathing room now. Wolverines have a little bit more space to work with.
A sustained drive capped off by a score here would go a long way to really claiming the momentum in earnest for Woodland Hills.
Certainly it would, and that's exactly what the Wolverines have to do here. Drain some more clock, get down the field.
Handoff. Clark squeaks through a hole, drives his way forward, still spinning his way out towards the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain of 9 where it is 2nd down and 1.
He never stops churning those legs. And he's just so powerful, upper body strength and lower body strength, a nice combination. He's able to break through several tackles. The initial one was by the Chartiers Valley Colts star, Connor Barrett, one of the best players they got, and he ran right through him.
High backfield. Gavin Judson fumbled the snap, and Woodland Hills is going to be backed up instead of 2nd and 1 or 3rd and 1. It's going to be now 3rd down and about 4.
Just when you think they're getting some momentum at them, something like that happens, and it really, really hurts the Wolverines. You're going to be, like you said, he could have at least had a 3rd and 1 if he's able to just jump on it right there. But unfortunately, he's unable to. Loss of 3, and now the Wolverines have a 3rd and 4.
Pitch. Clark running right. Drives his way forward, out across the 40 to the 41-yard line, and that's enough for a Woodland Hills first down. Nice job by Clark, as it looked like Chartiers Valley was going to be able to swallow him up. Instead, Clark got out to the 40, just across that 40, in fact, and that's enough for that first down for Woodland Hills.
He made a great cut right off the bat because he knew the yardage that he needed, and he got it. Just got it, too.
So 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. The line to gain is the midfield stripe. High backfield behind Judson. Handoff. This is Meredith running left. Bangs into a tackler. Now bursts free. Far sideline. Meredith inside of Chartiers Valley territory. Shoulder out of bounds inside of Chartiers Valley's 35 near the 34. They'll say he's all the way down to the 31.
Anthony Meredith just took on number 60, Nathan Kramer, a lineman for the Colts, weighing about 250 pounds, and Anthony Meredith coming in at about 175. He just trucked Kramer, took him right down along the sideline. Very impressive.
So 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills, the ball at the CV 31-yard line. High backfield behind Gavin Judson as receivers are split to either side. Pitch to the right. Meredith hesitates. Now drives his way inside of the 30 to around the 28-yard line. Gain of 3 brings up 2nd down and 7. Injured Chartiers Valley player stops the clock. 3:08 to play 3rd frame. Talked about it at halftime already. Woodland Hills could lose this football game and still qualify for the playoffs, but I think they want to take a winning streak into the postseason And a couple of victories in conference would certainly help their confidence headed into postseason play, as they will be down near the bottom of the bracket headed into the postseason.
Last time we checked, it was actually 28-0 Peters Township over Baldwin, but Wolverines need to focus on what they have in front of them.
Meredith running left, driving his way inside of the 25, brought down at the 20-yard line, a pickup on that play of 8 yards, and it's Woodland Hills first down.
Another nice run by Anthony Meredith, evading the first Colts defensive player and able to get a big first down along the left side.
So Woodland Hills now on the precipice of the Chartiers Valley red zone. First and 10 at the Woodland Hills 20, or rather at the Chartiers Valley 20. Handoff, Meredith up the gut, driving his way down towards the 17-yard line before he's taken down to the deck. In on the tackle, Troy Donofrio for Chartiers Valley.
Good job by the Colts there, not letting Meredith get any more. It looked initially like he might be able to squeak through that hole, but a nice job there by the Colts to stop that before it could go any further, especially Sean Bannis there taking down Meredith, not letting him break free of his wrap-up tackle.
High backfield behind Judson as Judson hands off to Meredith. He'll cut to the left-hand side, driving his way down towards the 10-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 11, so that brings up third and a very manageable 1.
Basically have 2 chances to get this. I know it's a close game, but if I'm the Wolverines, I want to go for this all the way if they're stopped short here. But hopefully they don't even have to be faced with that decision. Hopefully they can get the first down right here and get themselves in a first and goal situation.
Judson will step under center. Hands off Meredith. Meredith met in the backfield, turning his legs, backing defenders back towards the 10-yard line. This will be an interesting spot, as Meredith's second effort may have been enough for the first down. The officials spot the ball at the 10. First and goal, Woody High.
Just a great run by Anthony Meredith. Didn't look like he had any chance, and it looked like they might even blow the whistle, but he kept moving his legs. Nice strength, and his back helped him get that first down for sure.
That's an offseason spent in the weight room if I've ever seen one.
Lots of squatting done there.
Handoff Clark. Cuts it back to the right. 10-yard touchdown run for William Clark, and Woodland Hills is back on top.
Just a great drive by the Wolverines. Exactly what they had to do. Just running the ball almost pretty much every play, and they were able to get a big touchdown and discourage the Colts. Something that hasn't happened since maybe that opening kickoff.
So Woodland Hills back on top, 20-14. Chucky Hanchett's PAT will make it a 14-point game. The holder, Lucas, Roman the long snapper. Good snap, hold down, kick up, and that kick by Hanchett is good. And with 1:26 to play in the third frame, Woodland Hills on top of Chartiers Valley by a score of 21-14. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
10-yard touchdown run by William Clark puts Woodland Hills on top of Chartiers Valley, 21-14. Second touchdown of the game for William Clark. After being our State Senator Jay Costa player of the game a week ago, he's certainly making a case to be it again tonight.
Yeah, nice job there by both running backs, Meredith and Clark. Meredith carried a lot of the load to get him down the field. Clark capping it off.
Booming kickoff by Chucky Hanchett into the end zone for another touchback, and the Colts will start the drive at their own 20. Follow the Woodland Hills Football Network on Twitter, twitter.com/WHFootballNet.
It's a key opportunity here for the Wolverines defense to really, really assert themselves and get a 3-and-out or get a turnover and really get the ball back into the offense hand and get another touchdown and really, really discourage these Colts.
Beatty, pistol with 2 backs behind him. One receiver split to the near side left and a double tight end set. Handoff will go to Zambrano, and he is brought down a yard shy of the line of scrimmage. Anthony Meredith in on the tackle for Woodland Hills. Also on the stop, Armani Bailey.
I'm sure the Wolverines will welcome that if the Colts continue to try running up the middle like that against a couple stout defensive linemen and DeJuan Howes and Chris Jones and Caleb Brevard.
Second and about 10 for Chartiers Valley. They gave the ball carrier Zambrano forward progress just across the 20. Bobbled snap by Beatty. He's able to get the hand off to Barrett, but Barrett has nowhere to go but down as he is met at the line of scrimmage by Michael Roman. William Clark also in on the stop for Woody High.
Another big stop for the Wolverines, and now a 3rd and long and crucial 3rd down for both sides. Chartiers Valley, as we're getting close to the 4th quarter here with just about 20 seconds left in the 3rd. They need this 3rd down conversion, and on the other side, the Wolverines need to get a stop. Looks like DeJuan Howes will just get, wow. See that, the arm around his neck there. But Howes was able to fight through it and still being on the play.
3rd and 8. Chartiers Valley trying to get this snap off before the quarter expires, and they do. Beatty's going to throw down the near sideline, and the pass is caught. Great catch there by Connor Barrett on the final play of the 3rd quarter. Sets up Chartiers Valley inside of Woodland Hills territory.
Just made a great adjustment to that ball, and he was able to pull it in, and that's a huge play for Chartiers Valley there. If they needed a play, they needed it there. You can see here on the instant replay how he's able to pull in this wobbling pass. Got good position on Jay Smith. Pinned it up against his stomach, and now 1st out for Chartiers Valley right up midfield.
Head to the 4th quarter. Woodland Hills up 7. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 3/4 of a century. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Char Valley, first play of the 4th quarter on 1st down and 10 from the Woodland Hills 48-yard line. And the ball carrier is Connor Barrett. Barrett is brought down inside of the 45 at the 44.
Yeah, that was a good play for Chartiers Valley on 1st down to get a nice chunk of yardage there. Now Woodland Hills has to bear down and get a big stop here to set them back in a 3rd down and long situation if they're able to get maybe a play for a loss here or something. See what the defense can do.
Second down and 6 as the snap gets away from Connor Barrett, and he has to jump on the football at the 48-yard line.
And boy, he was just able to get, luckily the ball just went just far enough away where Barrett was able to dive back on it. He's a big guy at 6'2", so he was able to get back on it, but he had a couple Wolverines bearing down upon him, and Armani Bailey and William Clark. But now, as I was mentioning before, if the Wolverines defense was able to get a big stop and get a play for a loss, which they did, it's a 3rd and long and another crucial 3rd down situation.
3rd and 15, the football at the 47-yard line. Beatty fakes the pitch, runs to his left-hand side. He's got the 1st down and more inside of the 30, inside of the 25, and down towards the 20-yard line, where he is finally brought down by Armani Bailey.
Another big 3rd down. Before it was the pass, now the run. Too many Wolverines bit on the fake pitch, and he had tons of room to run. And just a back-breaking first down there for Chartiers Valley. The defense has to stand strong now as they are knocking on the door of the red zone.
Another 30-plus yard gain on 3rd and long for Chartiers Valley, the second of this drive. So this drive started at the Chartiers Valley 20. Now the ball is at the Woodland Hills 20. Chartiers Valley trails Woodland Hills by 7, 21-14. Barrett in the Wildcat, running to the right-hand side, retreating now, looking to turn the corner. And Barrett is wrestled to the turf by Jay Smith. Big size mismatch there, and Smith did a nice job of making an open field tackle and keeping the gain at only 1.
Yeah, good job by the Wolverines to string that out, and their speed made that happen, and Barrett was not getting around the host of Wolverines along the sideline, led by Jay Smith on the unsuccessful stiff arm by Barrett.
2nd down and 9 for Chartiers Valley at the Woodland Hills 19-yard line. Again, this drive started for Chartiers Valley with 1:26 to play in the 3rd quarter at the Chartiers Valley 20. Now we're in the 4th quarter, and Chartiers Valley has it inside of the Woodland Hills 20 at the 19 on 2nd down and 9. Beatty's in the shotgun. He's going to hand off. Barrett running to his left-hand side, being strung to that far boundary, and a nice open field tackle by William Clark, bringing Barrett down for a loss on the play.
Really nice job by William Clark. It looked like Barrett might be able to break away at the last second, but he was unable to, and William Clark just stuck with it and made a big tackle, breaking off of the block from Thomas Heckruth.
Woodland Hills may have dodged a bullet there, Eric. Looked like it could have been a horse collar. Looked like the left hand of Clark was inside of the scuff of the neck of Barrett, the ball carrier.
Certainly could have been called.
Ultimately low, it's a loss of 5 for Char Valley, and it's 3rd down and 14 for CV at the 24-yard line. Yeah, a third look at it certainly shows that there could have been a horse collar there. A bad snap to Beatty. It's punched loose. It's still loose, and Woodland Hills will cover up the football. Fumble recovery by William Clark, and a threat by the Colts is thwarted by a bad snap and a Woodland Hills defensive play.
William Clark there to jump on the ball before Barrett was able to get back on it. This time Beatty unable to get back on it. He looked like he was going to jump on it. Then he looked like he tried to just push it away from Wolverines, but to no avail as William Clark makes the big play to get on the ball. And now here's an opportunity for Gavin Judson to lead the offense down the field, drain a lot of clock, maybe get the ball in the end zone one more time.
So Woodland Hills starts this drive at their own 38. The handoff to Anthony Meredith as he crosses the 45 out towards the 46-yard line for a pickup of 8, bringing up 2nd down and 2.
You see Anthony Meredith usually more of an upright runner. There he got very low to get down and get a couple extra yards as he drove through a couple Chartiers Valley Colts, and a very nice first down run to put him in a 2nd and 2 here. This is when the offensive line has to be key because you know this defense is expecting run every single down.
Handoff, Meredith has a crease over left guard. He's got the first down and more across the 50 and into Chartiers Valley territory at the 48-yard line.
This is one time, though, Adam, I will say, where it really hurts the Wolverines don't have that 25-second clock, because they could be able to have a look at it and run that clock down, and not having it doesn't allow you to do that, but hopefully they can just get in the end zone and not even have to worry about that.
High backfield, receiver split to either side as Judson steps under center, and he will hand off. Meredith running right, cutting it back to the left, inside of the 45, inside of the 40, close to the first down marker. They'll say he does get to the 38, and that should be enough for another Woodland Hills first down.
Just another great run by Anthony Meredith, getting lower and getting a big first down there as he drives forward for an extra about 4 yards there. When you thought the run was going to be over, he got that extra bonus yardage.
Timeout, defense.
I think Chartiers Valley just gassed at this point, needed to use that timeout.
Yeah, coaches certainly look upset along the sideline, not sure why. Nonetheless, they get the timeout.
They'll talk things over, and we'll take a break. 21-14 Woodland Hills on top of Chartiers Valley with 7:43 to play in regulation. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Bush Brothers Car Care Center in Swissvale has been a Monongahela Avenue institution for over 30 years. Bush Brothers is a full-service mechanic and tire shop for all types of vehicles. Whether you need mechanical work, an alignment, state inspection and emissions testing, new tires, or just an oil change, Bush Brothers is the place for you. Bush Brothers Car Care Center, Monongahela Avenue in Swissvale, or give Martin and Jason a call at 412-351-5342.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Woodland Hills up by 7 on Chartiers Valley. 1st and 10 for the Wolverines at the Colts 38-yard line with 7:43 to play in the fourth quarter. Judson will hand off to William Clark, who slides through a tackle for a moment and is brought down inside of the 35 at around the 33-yard line. We'll push the ball back to the 34, where it's a gain of about 4, and it's 2nd down and 6. Taking a look at the Allegheny 8 standings, Woodland Hills right now in a 5th-place tie with Baldwin. Baldwin down big in the third quarter to Peters Township, who's up near the top of the conference. So Woodland Hills gets a win, or Baldwin loses this football game, and Woodland Hills will advance to the playoffs. Looks like both of those things, at least for the moment, will happen, as Woodland Hills has the ball with 7 minutes to play, has a 7-point lead, has the momentum behind them, but is facing a 3rd down and 4 after that 2-yard run by Anthony Meredith.
It's going to be a tough 3rd down here. As I said before, Chartiers Valley's selling out on the run every down, so this is when the offensive line has to get their blocks and open a hole for Meredith so he can get a big 1st down.
Meredith dots the I. Hand off. Meredith hesitating, bouncing it to the right-hand side, looking to turn the corner inside of the 30. He's got the 1st down and more as he's finally shouldered out of bounds at around the 25-yard line.
Yeah, a little bit of a late hit there. Didn't do much damage, but I don't know what the Chartiers Valley Colts player was thinking there. I don't know if he didn't hear the whistle or what, but he came on Anthony Meredith's back there after the play, but doesn't matter. Anthony Meredith getting the 1st down. That's the most important thing. New set of downs for the Wolverines.
I like what DeJuan Howells did there. He went over and went face mask to face mask with a Chartiers Valley player. Didn't make any physical contact, just kind of stood there and made his presence known.
Yeah, that's Mike Rennie who came on the back there. He's been involved after plays with a couple Wolverines. That's some frustration that he was letting out there, I'm sure, with that late hit.
1st and 10, ball at the 25 as Judson hands off. Meredith running right. He's met at the line of scrimmage, dragging a white jersey with him. The whistle blows. It'll be no gain on 1st down, and it's 2nd down and 10. But the clock ticking down towards 6 minutes to play in regulation. And Woodland Hills has chewed up about 3 minutes of clock on this drive after Chartiers Valley burned up about 3.5 minutes on their drive and came up empty.
As you mentioned, that whistle was blown, so no gain, but Meredith was still moving forward. It was a quick whistle. He fought through a couple tackles and a hard hit there.
So 2nd and 10, ball at the 25. Judson under center, pitches to the left. It's Clark. He's inside of the 25, and he will be spun down at around the 23-yard line. Decent open field contact there by Chartiers Valley's Jordan Demas, keeping it at a gain of about a yard. Speaking of Demas, he was responsible for the pick 6 in quarter number 2 to give Chartiers Valley the lead headed into the locker room.
Another big 3rd down. This one long for the Wolverines. They need this one, though, to really get into a great situation here. We'll see what they can do.
High backfield behind Judson. Hard count by Gavin. He'll hand off. Delayed to William Clark, and he's got nowhere to go as he's swallowed up back at the 27-yard line for a loss of about 3, bringing up 3rd down and a dozen.
Yeah, it's just when you're in a situation where, you're in 4th down territory. I know they've been running the ball very effectively, but would have maybe liked to see a short pass or something there to try and mix it up a little bit. That's why the Colts have had any success stopping the run. It's because of the repetitiveness that the Wolverines have been doing it with. They've been doing it successfully, though, for the most part, except for this set of downs.
Yeah, again, Woodland Hills started this drive at their own 38 and has chewed up over 4 minutes of clock.
Offense.
That's Woodland Hills takes the timeout. We'll step away to 4:32 to play here in quarter number 4. Woodland Hills on top of Chartiers Valley, 21-14. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
Woodland Hills lead Chartiers Valley 21-14, but the Wolverines facing a 4th down and 12 with the ball at the 27-yard line. Gavin Judson is in the shotgun with sidecars to either side. Judson looking right the whole way. Flush to the right, hit as he was running to that right-hand side. The ball loose, and it's covered up by Chartiers Valley, and they will get it at the 37-yard line. And that's a play that really shifts momentum. You know, a turnover on downs does a little bit to give you that oomph, but a turnover really does more to motivate your team.
Yeah, you're right, Adam. Where if he would have been sacked or, it wouldn't have mattered. Like you said, if he'd have been sacked there, ball would have been basically the same place as it is now after the fumble, since it was 4th down. Wouldn't have mattered if Woodland Hills would have recovered. That still would have been a turnover on downs, but you're right. It gives the Colts some momentum with plenty of time on the clock. Defense for the Wolverines has to step up big now.
It felt like Woodland Hills was going to be able to put that game away on that drive, but, it died near the end, and that really hurt Woodland Hills. But Woodland Hills took the ball right back. Josh Rawlings picks up a fumble. He's going to the end zone for a scoop and score, and Woodland Hills is on top, 27-14.
Just a huge play. The defense really deserved that all year. They have been doing a great job for the Wolverines, and they haven't had many plays like that, and here they get one at a crucial point after the offensive drive had stalled. Just a great hit by Michael Coleman to strip that ball free on the strip sack. Josh Rawlings exactly where he had to be, taking it to the house.
So a 37-yard scoop and score for Josh Rawlings, and Woodland Hills is on top by 13. Chucky Hanchett can make it 14. And this is the first 2-score lead of the game for Woody High. .4:12 to play, 4th quarter. Chucky Hanchett to attempt the PAT. And that PAT is up and good. And Woodland Hills on top, doubling up the Colts 28-14 with 4:12 to play. It's the Wolverines and the Colts on the Triv Live High School Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Serving the Turtle Creek Valley and neighboring Woodland Hills communities for over 110 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home now offers crematory services at their Turtle Creek location. Families choosing cremation can have added peace of mind knowing that their loved one never leaves